city. DC, that's where I'm from. 1130 podcast. Dre on wheels, he is the one. Let's get it. Yeah. Who with me? Let's get it. Yeah. No with me. Yeah. I'm from the city. DC, that's where I'm from. Let's get it. 1130 podcast. Dre on wheels, he is the one.
He the one, nigga.
So let's breeze, baby.
He the one.
With me. So
Yo, what it do, everybody? It's your man Dre, aka Dre on the Wheels. Y'all already know what it is, man. Welcome back, you guys, to the 1130 podcast. What's good, everybody going out there, man? Appreciate you guys joining me back here for another episode. You good, man? Good morning, good night, good afternoon to all my listeners all across the world, man. Appreciate you guys joining me back here for another episode of the podcast. It's gonna be fun for everybody who's listening to me on EB Radio. Thank you guys, man. It's Wednesday. Shout out to everybody for real, and everybody, man, who's watching on YouTube. Thank you guys, man, for coming back for another episode of the 1130 podcast. But if you guys new to the channel on YouTube, you already know, man. Hit that subscribe button. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Smash the notification bell. Like it. Leave a comment. Yes, leave a comment so I can know what you think and what your thoughts on the show and everything, man. And also share it so we can get the 1130 podcast up and out there even more. And also, you guys, don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. But you guys, man, I'm back here with another dope one, man, for the books, man. It's the 1130 podcast. It's on, man. Yo, man, I got two guests lined up, you guys, here on this week's episode. First up, you guys, for everybody who's listening on EB Radio, you guys, you may know him, you guys. He's the Chief Financial Officer, you guys, for Emerging Black Orlando, you guys. And also, he's the president, you guys, of EB Radio. Yes, Barkeem Barr will be joining me right here on the podcast this week. He's from the Bronx, but he's coming to us from Orlando, you guys. He's going to be joining me on the podcast this week, you guys. And also, coming up a little bit later on in the show, my girl Solo, right here from DC. Yes, DC in the building. She's a YouTuber. She's a video creator. She's going to be joining me later on, you guys, in the podcast. But before we get to all that, I want to shout out my guest who was on last week, Slide the Deuce. Appreciate you, my guy, for stopping past here on the podcast. Awesome time chatting with you guys. But yo, man, we're about to get to the show. Let's get to it, man. My guest is coming up just a bit, you guys. My man Barkeem Barr is coming up in just a bit, you guys. But yo, man, how everybody day is going, how everybody week is going. I'm grateful and glad that you guys is joining me back here for another episode, man. But you know how we get down, man. We ain't gonna waste no time. We're gonna start it off, you guys, man, with your favorite segment, you guys, the WTF moment of the week, you guys. Yes, man. Yo, my WTF moment of the week, you guys, is a crazy one that came this past weekend, you guys. I think it was Saturday this past weekend. Man. I woke up over the weekend when I was on Twitter and I saw the news and everything, and everybody was getting on CNN and everything like that for CNN wording the whole story wrong and everything and calling it, an accident or whatnot like that. But you guys, the WTF moment, man. Two teen girls, you guys, man, that's in DC, here in DC, you guys. 13 and 15 years old. Yes, 13 and 15 years old, you guys. They were carjacking a Uber Eats, delivery guy.
The hearing running late, the story almost too horrifying to imagine. The detective is a grandfather, 4 grandkids, 3 children, adults. His family says they are just devastated.
Now, it's already the times that we living in right now. Where, like I said before, small business, owners and restaurants out here, and even, just people, who lost their jobs, or out of jobs, or out of work or whatnot, and trying to make ends meet. You feel me? And the crazy thing about this, man, is these 2 girls, man, 13 and 15 years old. Like, where's your mama? Where's your father? If that's not the case, though, but come on, if that's not, it's just crazy. It's really crazy. And then, see the rest of the video, man, and the door slams into him and everything, man. It's just graphic. And one of the girls, as they getting out of the car, one of them just going, says, "Where's my phone?" Like, really? Your phone? The driver of the joint is laying there on the ground, lifeless. He moving a little bit, but basically lifeless. And you worrying about your phone? You're worrying about your phone. Yeah, all right, you about to be in prison for the rest of it. That's what you're gonna be worrying about, the prison sentence, man. But yeah, that's my WTF moment of the week, man. Yeah. But yo, man, we about to get to the show for real, man. I got some dope guests lined up in the book, man. But first up, you guys, like I was saying, he is the Chief Financial Officer of Emerging Black Orlando and the president of EB Radio. Barkeem Barr, what's going on with you, bro?
Going good, man. Going good, Dre. How you been?
Man, I've been great, man. Today's going great. How's your day going?
It's hump day, brother, so I can't complain, man. We halfway through, feeling good, staying busy, no complaints.
Okay, man. Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. Man, I brought you here on the podcast, man. I wanted you to come in on the podcast because you reached out to me back in January. I think it was January, late December, to come to the EB Radio, man. And it was an amazing opportunity, and I thought it was wonderful. I chatted about it, prayed about it, and it happened. So I'm here on EB Radio with you. You're my guest, man, here, and I just want to thank you and return the favor. And man, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of the EB Radio brand. And to allow to share my podcast each and every week.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you accepting the offer. Like I said, when I reached out to you, I really loved the content that you was putting out. I love the vibe that you had. So it was simple for me. It seemed like a natural fit, and here we are, brother. So I'm very happy to have you a part of the EB Radio family. Things are going well.
Yeah, man, it's really going well. I love it, man. I love it. But for my listeners and viewers who joining me this week here on the 1130 podcast that's not familiar with you, you mind introducing yourself just a little bit for them?
Absolutely. So like you said earlier, my name is Barkeem Barr. I'm originally from the Bronx, New York. I'm currently in Florida right now. And like you said, I'm the Chief Financial Officer of EBO, which is Emerging Black Orlando, and I'm also the president of EB Radio. So for those who don't know, EB, our parent company, EB Network, is a broadcasting, advertising, and marketing company. So anything having to do with advertising or marketing, we sort of have a handprint in. So web designs, advertising, marketing, even short films, videography for weddings, for music videos, for commercials, and of course, EB Radio. So that's a little bit of what the parent company is. And of course, EB Radio, as some of you guys already know, is a 24-hour internet-based radio station. It's app-based. You just download the app from your from Google Play, from wherever you download your Apple podcast, or even in your Alexa. You can add the skill to your Alexa, all for free, and just listen into our content. Catch my man Dre, along with a lot of other podcasts and great music and exclusive DJs. I'm very excited to have it. We've been live for just over a year. January made a year for us. And I'm really happy with what we got going on.
Yeah, man, you got some great stuff going on, man. I downloaded the app, of course, man, once you reached out to me, man, and I was like, man, hey, this junk crank. I like this, the music vibes and everything is good. But how did you get to where you at now, as far as, being the president and, the, Chief Financial Officer of Emerging Black Orlando?
Well, I definitely would have to give that credit to my lovely wife, Lori. My wife was about 3.5 years ago, she was looking to do a video podcast. And we needed someone that was going to be able to do the videography work. She was very, very determined on doing this. And she found EB Network. We originated out in Jacksonville. So we made a connection with the people that was running EB Network. We created the podcast, which was called In My City. We just finished up season 3 of that earlier this year. And just through communicating and dealing with them, we found out that they were looking to branch out into the Orlando market. And it just felt like a natural fit. So from there, we decided to take over the Orlando market and extend EB Network into the Central Florida area. And me and my wife have been running it ever since. And it's just so funny. I always say, your next big deal will come from a conversation. Had we not had a simple conversation about doing a podcast that my wife was interested in, honestly, I wouldn't be here right now. So shout outs to my wife, Lori.
Hey man, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. It's all about networking, man. It's like I was having a conversation with my guest last week, and he was explaining about how important networking is and lateral networking, just reaching out, and talking. And you just never know where things, will land up for you, and
Absolutely.
things are looking good, man. Things are looking good.
Absolutely.
You talked about, my podcast being on EB radio. What was like, a specific thing, that I guess maybe caught your eye, or your ear, about the 1130 podcast that you was like, it'd be cool to have them.
What really did it for me was the variety of guests that you had on. I liked how the content like was always consistent where you're just interviewing people, but your guests were just so varied. I thought that was a really good spin on the podcast. I liked also that you were doing just the audio and the video aspect of it. And then just you personally, like the energy that you give off, you seem very, very natural when it comes to talking to people, and people seem to really gravitate towards you. And that genuineness of the interaction is what really caught my ear.
Okay.
It really did.
Hey, that's what's up, man. It's really cool to hear that, man. And I appreciate it because
I appreciate you, brother, man. I'm telling you.
Hey, it's cool because I appreciate the feedback and the love that a lot of people will say, man. The energy is dope and everything. So the EB Network, you talked about how is it as a brand? You guys are in Jacksonville, right?
Yes, we started out in Jacksonville about 4.5 years ago.
Okay, and you guys, tell me about the EB Network, or tell my listeners about the EB Network, because it's also, you guys have got the radio side of it, and it's also more to it.
Yes, it's so much more to what we do than a radio station. Not to downplay that, that's my baby. But when we talk about EB Network, again, it's more, we are overall a branding and marketing company. So we can do things with your brand, like we'll help promote your brand. We can create a website for you to help promote the brand. We can run that website. We also involve ourselves heavily in social media marketing and management. So if you need something like a logo created, or just to create your brand from scratch, and you may just have an idea, but you need some of that creative assistance to kind of get you to where you need to be, we involve ourselves in that heavily also. We also are heavy into videography. We created our own network on YouTube. Check us out, EB Network, where you can find a lot of original content that we've created for ourselves, and that we also have created for customers of ours. So we can take your thought and bring it to reality from a video standpoint. So from inception to premiere, we can do the videography, the editing, post-editing, and then have that premiered on, whether it's on your own network or on our network. We also deal with photography heavily. My wife has become a great photographer, and I dabble in it as well as myself. So just generally anything having to do with marketing, branding, that's where EB Network can help you. And it doesn't matter if you're local in Jacksonville or you're in California. We reach out nationwide to help, young entrepreneurs and businesses grow their business and make their brand as strong as it could possibly be.
Hey man, that's what's up. That's what's up. It's all about the exposure and networking worldwide, man. Worldwide.
Absolutely.
You run the daily operations, man, on EB Radio, man. For everybody who don't know, man, it's an internet-based app. Download it right now, man. It's free. Download it. How did that come about?
Well, as a company, we were looking to brand out into the advertising field and kind of be able to have an opportunity to do advertising for some small businesses. And it just seemed natural to go into the radio aspect of it. So once we decided that we wanted to create our own radio station, we just kind of figured out what would be the best way for the customers to interact with the radio station. And there are a lot of internet stations out there where you kind of have to go to the website and kind of listen to whatever the content is there. We felt like in this day of mobile and accessibility, that just wasn't the easiest way to go about it. So we decided to create an app. We wanted it to be easy. We wanted it to be free. So we went about creating it in a way where it was just that. So our listeners, all you have to do is download the app. It's absolutely free for the listeners. You tune in and you listen to the content. As far as the music is concerned, like I said, I'm from New York City. I'm born and raised in the Bronx, so I'm a Bronx kid. I'm 42 years old, so I came up in the 90s and the early 2000s, and I've always had a love for music. So just to run the radio station just was really natural for me because I'm always listening to music. I'm a fan of the era that I grew up in as far as the hip hop and stuff is concerned, and I'm a fan of what goes on now. And not just like hip hop and R&B. I'm a big soul person. I love Caribbean music. My wife is Caribbean, so I have an affinity for that. Pop music, you'll hear the Caribbean music, you'll hear pop music, you'll hear reggaeton music. I'm just a big fan of music in general, and this gave me an opportunity to be able to express that. So you're gonna get a little bit of all that when you listen to EB Radio. You never know what artist you're gonna hear. And we also wanted to create a platform for those young artists, those new artists that aren't able to get on normal radio, to have a chance to have their content and their music heard by the masses, because that's the end of the day, that's what they're putting all this work in. So we also have the ability to break new artists, and we're very, very happy about being able to do that for not just local artists here in the Central Florida or the Jacksonville area, nationwide, even worldwide. So that's where that came from. And it's just really, for me, it's just a love of the music, and which transitioned honestly into a love of podcasting. I started listening to podcasts maybe 2 years ago, and just really noticed that there was just so many options for podcasts, but it was so difficult for them to be able to have their voices heard. There's an amazing content out there that many people just do not know about because the market is so saturated. So that's why we decided to go ahead and bring these podcasts to EB Radio, help them promote that brand, so that way that more people have an opportunity to hear how good they are. And that's where you came in, Brett.
Hey man, that's what's up. That's really, really cool, man. You could tell it's a different vibes with the radio, man. Cause it's different music, and I love it. It's really, really cool. Cause I was gonna, how do you guys come up and choose the songs? Cause the normal radio, of course, will play the top 10 over and over again, same hour. You guys are flexible. You guys play just about different music, and I love it. So yeah, that was my question. How do you guys choose what songs to play on the radio?
Well, to be quite honest with you, it just comes from my love of music. So it really is, I listen to music all the time. And if it's something that really hits my soul, I guess you could say, if it's something that just sounds good to me, I feel like the masses are gonna wanna hear it. So I'm the one that chooses all the music that's played there. Sometimes I get some help from my daughter. I have a 15-year-old daughter. So she'll come to me and be like, Dad, man, this song is lit. You need to really put this on here. I was listening to this yesterday. And I like, okay, honey, I'm gonna throw that on there. So between myself and my daughter, we kind of just manage the type of music that we come on here. I tend to listen to a lot of indie hip hop and like a lot of indie soul music, and that I just feel like that doesn't get enough airplay. And, you know, the goal with EB Radio, again, is to bring awareness to certain kind of music or certain kind of podcast that you may not hear on mainstream radio. Of course, we do all the mainstream stuff, the top 10 and stuff, because you shouldn't do like that is top 10, because most of the time it's really good music. But there's music out there that people just don't have an ear for, that haven't had an opportunity to hear. And that's part of what we really want to do.
Hey, that's what makes you guys different. That's why I like it, because, you know,
Thank
radio, you're welcome, man. Because the radio, you turn on the radio, and I ain't listened to the radio in a while, but like EB Radio, which is the app, because most things is the app straight off your phone. You just stream stuff. So when you click on it, you know, it's definitely a variety of stuff. You know, find some songs, you know, you didn't know. You know, I play Pandora every once in a while to find some new songs, though. But, you know, EB Radio is just a different, you know, vibe. And I surely like it, man. I surely like it. And your daughter helps you. And that's cool. That's cool right there. What keeps you motivated?
My entrepreneur spirit, man. I love being an entrepreneur. I love the grind of it. it's that classic mantra of if you find something that you love to do, you never work a day in your life. That's what I'm doing right now. I do this full time. There's no day job for me. So this is just a constant grind. And I love interacting with people. I love talking to people. I'm not super big on being on television and stuff like this. So this is a little different for me, but just interacting with people, touching bases with different artists, creating these different relationships, and, really being able to, again, do something that I love. I literally just love music. So to sit here and listen to music and talk to people about their music, and hear new content and put it out there. And then that, like I said earlier, transitioned into the whole podcasting thing, like talking to different podcasters about their subject matter and the motivation as to why they're doing what they're doing, and then being able to assist them in growing their brand. I just love what I do as an entrepreneur. I love the grind. There's always work to do. I'm never at a loss or bored from doing my job, because there's always something else to do. There's always someone else to talk to rather. And it just good, man. My wife is the same way. She does the same thing. And it just makes for a really good home, man. So I'm happy. I just get to do what I love, man.
Hey, that's what's up. It's all about doing what you love. That was my next point, because like how you mentioned, you're part of podcasts and stuff. I was watching you on the Black Owned podcast where you talked about how you were, camera shy and stuff like that. That's what a lot of people, because I started my podcast straight just YouTube, because like I tell a couple of people, I didn't know nothing about the Anchor app or anything like that. So I just went straight to YouTube, and people would give me comments, man. Well, I need to get the courage like you, man, and do a video, because most people, of course, just got audio and stuff like that. So, man, hey, it's all cool, man. It's all cool. You look good on camera anyway, man. You look good on camera.
Listen, hey, as long as the missus think it's cool, man, I'm good with it, bro.
Hey, that's what's up. What type of advice would you give someone who's trying to start a business, or maybe he's trying to get into the radio, side of it?
I would say the biggest advice that I would give you is, if you're just starting, to just start. Just go ahead and start it. Don't be afraid that you don't know enough. You can always learn more. Don't worry about failure. Don't worry about naysayers. Just get out there and do what you want to do. Get the correct knowledge to start yourself off efficiently. Get the right people around you. So if you don't have all the knowledge, just realize that you may not necessarily have to do it all alone. There are other avenues and venues and businesses that are out there that are made to kind of help you. EV Network. But I would say just go ahead and do it, man. Figure out a way to kind of start what you need to do, get your questions answered, and start. I literally can tell you honestly, 2 years ago, if you would have said to me that I was running a radio station and I would have podcasters and DJs and have all these relationships with people, I would have looked at you like you were crazy. Now my phone doesn't stop ringing because I got another DJ that wants to do something here when they want to do an event, or a podcaster wants to be involved. And, it's just, if I told myself, I can't do this because I don't have any experience, I've never ran a radio station, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. So don't doubt yourself, man. Like if you feel like this is something that the masses need to hear, or if you feel like this is something that, you want to put out for yourself, you feel like this is a good business idea, do the research, get it done the best way you can, and put your foot forward. That's the best advice I can give you.
Hey, man, that's well said. That's well said. I'm just like that. If you told me that I would be on the radio with my podcast, the 1130 podcast, or had a podcast, 2 years ago, like, nah, I wouldn't believe it. And everything that I'm doing and connecting with different people every week, each and every
Absolutely.
week, it's just, I wouldn't believe it. It's just nothing but hard work and, being dedicated, being consistent, and keep doing it, man. So Absolutely. That's what's up.
You got to get out there and try, man. You really do. You just never know what's going to happen until you put your foot out there.
Yeah, you're right. You never know. But you guys, man, we're going to move on here on the 1130 podcast. Barkeem Barr, man, before I let you go, are you into the NCAA tournament right now?
I was just watching some of it over the weekend. It's been a real surprising run.
Okay.
This is a weird one this season. It's a weird one.
Okay. I asked though because this is my first time really getting into it though. I'm not really into like college basketball though. I really just watch like just the NBA. But
Right.
yeah, it's been a couple of shockers, and especially
More
for
than a couple.
yeah,
More than a couple, bro. More than a couple.
You are right about that, man. And the teams, man, for the young students who've been getting kicked out the tournament because of the coronavirus and stuff like that, feel sad for them and everything like that. But man, it's crazy. It's very, very interesting though. But my eyes is on it. But Barkeem Barr, man, I appreciate you joining me this week on the 1130 podcast, man.
Thanks for having me, brother.
No problem. It was an awesome time having you, chatting with you and everything, man. Before you go, any shout outs, any questions for me, anything you'd like to say?
What you got next, brother? I think I saw some things coming for you that I'm pretty excited about. I think it's a documentary coming up. I'm pretty excited about that. Looking forward to when that comes to fruition.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. What's going on with that? When can we see that?
Well, the announcement is now. You will be able to see it this Sunday. It will be streaming on the 1130 podcast this Sunday. It's docu-series. Of course, it's going to be a couple of episodes, well, more than a couple of episodes, but it's going to be great. I got a couple of opinions on it. I was real nervous on it, even though I said the end of February and the end of March, though. Yes, this Sunday on the 1130 podcast YouTube channel. So, stay tuned.
Brother, dope. I'll definitely be tuning in. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. And just like you said, man, with no experience, I did my research, and I never did a documentary before. And even with the podcast before with that, I never did that, and just never know where things would take you. Just keep
never
going.
know.
Just keep going.
Never know.
Yeah, man. But any shout outs, anything you'd like to say, man, before we go?
Yeah. So just shameless plug. Artists. If you guys are looking for a place to have your music broken, reach out to me. You can reach out to me at EB Network on social media, EB Radio on social media. You can email me at info.eb1radio@gmail.com. Again, you can look us up on social media, EB Network. Advertisers, small businesses nationwide. If you're looking for a place to have your businesses advertised, if you're looking for a radio station to have your content advertised, this is the place for you. Same thing with podcasters. Again, if you're a podcaster and you're looking for that assistance to help push your brand, get your stuff on a radio station, be different than everybody else that's on Spotify and Anchor and all that other stuff, EB Radio is the place for you. You can reach out to me. My name is Barkeem Barr. I promise you, you're not going to see too many Barkeem Bars on social media. And again, that email address is info.eb1radio@gmail.com. Check us out.
Hey guys, man, you got it right there, man. Barkeem Barr. Check it out. It's EB Radio, you guys, man. Go download
EB Radio, baby.
Hey, yo, once again, man, I appreciate you joining me this week on the 1130 podcast, man. Stay blessed, stay safe, man. And thank you for the opportunity once again. And
absolutely.
Keep killing it, man. Keep killing it. Keep killing it with the DJs and all the podcasters on the radio.
We're trying, man. Brother.
And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Thank you once again.
All right.
Man.
Again, thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it very, very much.
No problem, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one, brother.
Yo, man, Barkeem Barr, man. I appreciate you joining me this week on the 1130 podcast, man. It was an awesome time chatting with you, man. I had to get you on the podcast, man, because back in January, like I was saying, you came with me with the opportunity to be a part of the EB Radio, man, and it is wonderful, man. If you guys, man, who are watching on YouTube, go download the EB Radio app right now. If you're listening on the EB Radio app right now, keep listening. It's dope music. It's gonna be some dope music coming on right after this podcast. It's over with, man. But Barkeem Barr. It was a dope time, man. It was a dope time. Don't be shy to be on camera, man. It's all cool. It's all cool. Wonderful time chatting with you, man. Shout out to everybody at EB Radio and EB Network, man. What a good time chatting with you, man. For real. But you guys, man, Yo, this is the 1130 podcast. We're just getting started. We're having fun here on the podcast, you guys, man. But coming up, you guys, after the break, my girl Solo from DC. Yes, DC in the building. She's going to be joining me here on the 1130 podcast. She's a YouTuber. Man, she creates great content, man. But she's going to be joining me, man. So sit tight, man, for everybody who's listening on EB Radio and everybody who's watching, man. You're listening, you're watching to the 1130 podcast. Don't go nowhere.
Yeah, they gon' hate, but they ain't stopping this. I'ma keep making hits. Dre and Wills, you know it ain't no copying. Was you sitting there on the carpet with us? Yeah, we knew we had some options. We blessed, we ain't got no problems. Speak something that I gotta be honest to him.
Everyone has something to say, a story to tell. We make it easy to share yours. So let's talk.
Regardless of your podcast setup, hit record. And from there, whether your podcast reaches 10 people or 10 million, we can help you get heard wherever listeners are.
And who knows, maybe even quit your day job.
But no matter who hears you, it's about connecting and sharing something from your perspective.
It's about having a voice and using it without anything standing in your way. Say it all with Anchor.
Don't be scared of us, just approach with caution. 1130 podcast, nigga, is you watching? I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. 1130 podcast, Dre and Wills is the one. Let's get it.
Yo, you guys, welcome back here to the 1130 podcast. Appreciate you guys sticking with me throughout the break. Yo, Barkeem Barr, man, I appreciate you so much for joining me here on the 1130 podcast this week. Shout out to everybody, man, down at EB Radio. And yo, man, download the EB Radio app, man, so you can listen to some dope music, man. But you guys, man, like I was saying throughout the show, man, my guest coming up right now, man, from DC, SelfMadeSolo. Yo, man, she's a YouTuber. She's a video creator. She's about to be joining me right now here on the 1130 podcast. Yo, Solo, what's going on with you?
What's up, man? I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, that's what's up. I'm proud that you've been here. How your day going?
My day going good so far. How's yours?
Mine's going wonderful. It's going wonderful.
That's good.
Going blessed. For my listeners and viewers joining me this week, you mind introducing yourself a little bit for them, please?
My name is Maya, but I go by SelfMadeSolo on YouTube. I just started a YouTube channel last year, so I'm basically on here to talk with you, get myself out there and, to make some more connections. So I'm glad that I was able to reach out to you and, be a part of this.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Shout out to Sis April for, connecting us up. It's DC in the vibe, man. DC all the way. Because I got to support my DC people, man, for real. Because that's what it's all about. And I got to check the DC card since, you from DC. I'm from DC. Mm-hmm. What part of DC is the most ghetto?
The most ghetto? Southeast.
Yeah, Southeast. Okay. You got that one. Southeast is the most ghetto, though. Is the most ghetto one right there, though. But since we got past that part, though, you're on YouTube and you're doing quite a few things that I enjoy. And I subscribe to you on YouTube. I like it. What got you? No problem. What got you into YouTube and stuff?
All I do every day, all day is watch YouTube 24/7. So the people that I subscribe to, they make it look fun. They make it look like something, that I would be interested in doing. So I was like, let me try this out. Let me let people get to know me. Let me open myself up to people because I'm a very closed and introverted person. But I feel like in my videos, people could get to know me more than what they can in person, like actually talking to me. So it's basically putting myself out there, opening myself up and having some fun.
Okay. You say you was like a closed person. You just didn't want nobody to like know you or just shy or something.
Just shy. Yeah. I'm just a closed off, chilled person. So I'm the person in the crowd that's, quiet and observing rather than the person that's actually talking to everybody. The only way you're going to get me to talk is if you actually know me. So like me off the bat, I'm a quiet, chill person, but the videos, they bring it out of me. Yeah,
that's me all the way. What high school you went to in DC?
Phelps.
Oh, okay.
Phelps.
I went to Dunbar. But hey, man, like I said, I enjoy everything on the YouTube. The story time. I think that's one of my favorite ones. What came up? How you come up with the story time, or it's just your views was just like, they want to hear you tell a story?
With the story times, I feel like it's getting to know me like way deeper than what you can actually see. And I also feel like I get to talk about some stuff that other people have been through or is going through, and it helps me connect with other people, and as well as letting people see my experiences and stuff to see how they can handle the same things within the story time. So I feel like it brings me closer to my audience for real.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it'll bring you closer to your audience, man. I was listening to a couple of them. The first time you got high. And
oh yeah,
come on, like who don't remember the first time they got high? My first time was got high. I think everybody's first time getting high was kind of a little scary though, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, that one was great. So I mean, like I said, I like the story time one. I was like, okay, I share story time on the podcast with her because I remember when I got caught getting freaky in junior high school. And I got caught getting freaky in junior high school on the elevator. And man, I ain't gonna say no names, of course, but you know, we was like, yeah, man, get on the elevator, get it on. Why the elevator? I don't know. But
right.
But we got on the elevator and stuff like that. We supposed to be in class or whatnot. And then one of the aides or teacher aides or whatever was, I guess, getting on the elevator, and the door open, and you just cheesing and stuff, and just like, but it was the other student who just like was like, oh, and just ran off, and that's how we got in trouble and everything like that. But man, you ever knew you was about to get an ass whooping and it was scary?
Man, yeah. When you knew it was coming, that's the scariest time, when you know it's coming.
Man, I didn't want to get off that school bus. That day, but that was a story time right there. At the time I got freaky in junior high school, and I was like, wow, man. Hey, and every time I look back at it, it's so funny now, laughing back at it right there, because after that time, every time I get on the elevator and people know me, they'll laugh about it or joke about it. But, yeah,
I bet.
That was funny. But before we move on, what made you cut the dreads?
I was tired of hair. My dreads got long, and I just got tired of hair. When they got wet, they was heavy. They was all in the way. I'd be laying on them and stuff. And then when it's hot outside and you got that hair on your face, and then the oils from my hair used to break me out. So I was like, I'm just about to cut it off. I don't know how I'm about to look, but I'm about to cut it off so it'll be easier for me to maintain, and I don't even got to worry about all that.
Okay. Because I seen you in the pictures. I was like, okay, she must have went for another cool look. So that's what's up.
Yeah,
that's what's up. Okay. One more question. Well, not even a question. A topic I'm gonna run past you before we move on. Also, have you heard about the Dirk Jackson situation?
I haven't.
You haven't? The Dirk Jackson, I guess he's the guy who supposed to be giving out relationship vices from his car.
Oh, no, I never heard of that.
Yeah. I mean, I heard about the situation, I think this past weekend, where he confessed with his wife, and they was cheating, and everybody been making little mockeries of it and stuff like that, and how she got on camera with a bonded, and you know how she stuck with him, and throughout all this cheating and stuff like that. I didn't know who the guy was, you know, at first, but you know, I seen some of his videos, you know, in the past. He's a guy who just be giving out relationship advices from his car, and I was just like, okay, this shit makes sense now. You know, he come on camera, and the video got almost like 1 million views, but he come on camera and confess, or basically to his wife and the world that, yeah, I've been cheating with my wife, and et cetera, and all this stuff like that. And you know, it was crazy. So I was just like, well, it do make sense that now he on camera, or in the car doing all this. You know, he's basically talking about himself, basically, in all the situations that they were going through, though. But yeah, I was just wondering if you heard about that crazy situation that's going on. But yeah, people's
heard about that.
Yeah, people's crazy. But you guys, man, we're gonna move on here on the 1130 podcast. Yo, Solo, you down to play a game?
I'm with it.
Okay. We're gonna play a game of Would You Rather here on the 1130 podcast. You ready?
I'm with it. Let's go.
All right. Would you rather fall for a straight girl or fall for your best friend's ex?
I'd rather fall for a straight girl, because if it's my best friend's ex, then there's a reason why she ain't with her, so I ain't about to get it.
Okay. True answer. Okay. All right. Would you rather find your true love and your soulmate and get married to them only for them to die a year or 2 years after and never fall in love again, or get married to a nice person that you like and you just settle with?
My true love. I'm gonna be sad that she died, but at least the love was true. I ain't trying to get with nobody to just settle, because then I'm not gonna be happy.
Exactly. You're right about that. Would you rather be transported 20 years into the past or the future every time you pass gas, or be transported to a random place in the world every time you sneeze?
That's a good question. I probably would say every time I sneeze, because if I pass gas and I go somewhere in the past that I don't really want to be, or somewhere in the future that's doing, I feel like with the sneezing I could travel the world. That sounds like traveling the world to me, so I do that.
Okay, where would you want to wind up at?
Probably somewhere tropical, like Jamaica.
Okay.
Somewhere real tropical and nice.
Somewhere real nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Would you rather have 3 eyes or have a tail?
3 eyes. I can see way better. See right through. 3 eyes.
Hey, you can see right through the bullshit, huh?
Yeah, all that.
Yeah, okay. All right. Would you rather wake up tomorrow with $1 million in your bank account, or go back to the age of 5 years old?
See, I'm grown now, so I feel like I'd rather wake up tomorrow with $1 million. I was 5 already. I don't even need to go back.
Yeah, you're right. Because I was about to say, hey, if you go back at 5 years old, I mean, hey, $1 when you was 5 years old was like $100, you know.
Yeah, but then I have to grow up all over again.
Yeah, you're right. You gotta go to school and do all that other bullshit all over again. So yeah, I feel you. All right, would you rather fuck the top half of Megan Thee Stallion with the bottom half of Hulk Hogan, or the top half of Hulk Hogan and the bottom half of Megan Thee Stallion?
Dang. I'm gonna have to say the top half Hulk Hogan and the bottom Megan Thee Stallion, because at least it's female all at the bottom. I can't do the bottom. So I'm gonna have to put a bag on the head or something.
I was just about to say, gotta put a bag over here. Yeah. Okay, all right. Would you rather go to a curry out uptown or on the south side?
South side, they got the best curry outs.
Best curry outs. Okay. I went to school majority of the time uptown. Everybody always bragged about how uptown got the best curry out and the best mumbo sauce and stuff like that. So nah, I'm from Southeast, so I say Southeast got
best curry outs.
Yeah, best. All right. Would you rather have hot sauce or mumbo sauce?
Probably hot sauce.
Hot sauce. Okay.
Hot sauce.
I'm digging the hot sauce too. All right. Would you rather beat your feet to go-go music for 24 hours straight, or listen to every Jacquees song remake for 24 hours straight?
I'm gonna have to beat my feet.
I'm with you.
Out of him now, so
I'm with you because I don't know why he's making all these remakes and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I don't know. Instead of his own stuff, he just remake a whole bunch of songs.
Yeah, I'm with you though. But yo, Solo, I appreciate you playing Would You Rather with me. It was fun though. But before I let you go, I appreciate you joining me on the podcast. Any new content that you got coming out as far as the YouTube?
Yes.
I know you was talking about like a prank that you was doing, and it didn't, your phone got messed up and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was real mad about that, but I'm about to travel soon, so I got some vlogs coming up that's about to be lit. So I definitely got some vlogs coming that the people going to like, and I appreciate you for allowing me to be here and allow the connecting us.
Yeah, no problem. But yo, it's been an awesome time. But before we go, return to segment here, you guys. On the 1130 podcast, it's time, you guys, for questions by April. Shout out to April, you guys. She sent in some questions, and yo, Solo, I'm gonna ask you some questions, if you don't mind.
All right.
Okay, cool. Where did the name Solo come from?
Because I always ride solo. I'm always by myself. Anything I do, I'm always by myself. I got friends and stuff, but I'm mainly by myself. I'm to myself all the time. So I feel like that fit me.
Okay. Sound like me a little bit. Okay. What is your biggest inspiration for YouTube?
My biggest inspiration.
Yeah.
Mainly, I would probably have to say a YouTuber by the name of DDG. You probably know him, but like how he started from the bottom and just stayed consistent with it, and then just grew and blew up. So that's something that I'm trying to do. I'm learning to stay more consistent, and then I'm trying to blow up, of course. So I feel like he's my biggest inspiration when it comes to YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta have that mindset. Everybody trying to blow up, for real though. Why do you wanted to be on the 1130 podcast?
Because it's something new. I never did nothing like this before. So to connect with somebody else and to get put out there and also be able to have some good conversation on something that I never did before is something that was interesting and I was willing to do. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, cool. It's your first time being on the podcast?
Mm-hmm. Very first.
That's what's up. What do you think about the Quavo and Swati situation?
I don't even be paying attention to none of that. For real. I don't be paying attention to none of that.
Okay, all right. What's the most embarrassing thing somebody caught you doing?
When I got a story time on my channel about this, but the first time my mother caught me watching lesbian porn, I was young. Most person.
What'd she say?
Man, she ain't say nothing. She whooped me. That's what she didn't say nothing. Because it was the time in there, and when she walked in the room, I hurried up and turned the TV off. The whole time, she caught a little bit of it, so she told me turn the TV back on. And I know I could do but turn it back on. She saw it was on that screen, so it was over for
Oh man. If you had $1 million, what would you be doing right now?
I'll buy a house. First thing I do, buy a house.
Okay, buy a house. Where you want to travel to?
Probably Dubai. I'll probably travel everywhere that's out of the country.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, where do you wish to travel to? That was the next question.
What do I wish to travel to? I really want to go to Jamaica for real. That's the first place I want to go.
Okay, cool, Jamaica. I ain't never been to Jamaica. I ain't really never been too many places though. But Jamaica would be nice though. Where would you like to be in life right now?
Content, comfortable, financially stable, mentally stable, and elevating. Just keep going up, doing what I like to do and elevating. That's where I would like to be right now.
Okay. It's all about keep moving forward. You're right. Mm-hmm. If you could detach a body part, what body part would it be?
I like all my body parts. So I keep all of them.
Hey, this is a question April asked a couple of guests, and one of the guests said the same thing.
I like all.
Exactly. I like all of them too. I keep all of them though.
Yeah.
All right. What is one thing you always remember from your childhood?
Going out of town with my family. We was always on road trips all the time, going different places. So that's the one thing I remember. The one thing I'll always remember.
Okay, cool. Yo, April, appreciate the questions. And yo, Solo, I appreciate you joining me this week on the 1130 podcast. It was a dope time vibing with you, chatting with you and everything. Before you go, any questions you have for me? Any shout outs, anything you'd like to say?
I got one question. What made you want to do this podcast? Like, what made you want to start a podcast?
Well, my brother actually was doing it at first because, I was just lost in the sauce, to be honest with you, just trying to figure out life. And he started doing something similar, but not with all the juice on it, though. Like, I be doing it with, not to, say it like that, though. But, I was just like, man, I like that. And then he was just like, man, you should do it because, like, you could do it. And, life was just happening, for him and stuff. And I just went in hard with it. And I enjoy it, and then two, it's like a job for me because I like I said, each and every day for me for a while was just like the same day, waking up, just doing the same old shit, So I just wanted something different, and with this is more than different and more than I can probably imagine. Because like I was saying to my guest earlier, 2 years ago, you couldn't tell me that I'd be chatting with different people almost every week around the world, you know, or just, you know, different people, even from the city, you know, a guy who I went to high school with, a couple of guys I went to high school with, had him on a podcast. We barely, you know, interacted, but we knew each other, you know, so
right.
It's so dope. It's so dope. So that's the reason why, you know.
Okay.
And that's why I keep doing it, you know.
Okay. And I got 2 quick shout outs. First, I want to shout out April, because April was the one who got me connected to you to come over here and be able to have a conversation with you, be able to put myself out there. So shout out to April. And she has a hair page. She do kids hair. So everybody should go to her, get their kids hair done. She does an amazing job. And I also want to shout out one of my friends, Jamal, on Instagram as Half-Fade Innovator. You know, he's a new up-and-coming artist doing his own music, and he be grinding from Baltimore. So shout out to him too.
Okay, shout him out, because we trying to get some new music up there, for real. Shout him out. And also April she doing some dope hair. Hear about April? For real, doing all the dope kids hair though, for real. Yeah. Solo, once again from DC, I appreciate you joining me this week on the 11:30.
I appreciate you too. I appreciate you for having me.
No problem. Thank you for joining me this week. Yeah, Solo, appreciate you joining me here on the 11:30 podcast. Awesome time chatting with you. You feel me? We got to put on for the city, man. I'm from DC. It's not too a lot of people come out the city, you know, especially with their talent. And if they do, you know, they already been out. You know, we got Taraji out there. We got a couple of people out there, man. But it's a whole new generation with talent, man. And with my man, Barkeem Barr, exposing me to EB Radio, allowing me with the opportunity to be on EB Radio. Is all about exposure and trying to get out there, you know. So shout out to DC. Shout out to everybody down in Florida. Shout out to everybody who's listening. I appreciate it so much. And yo, Solo, keep doing your thing, keep grinding. You know we gotta put in the work. You know we gotta put in the work. It was an awesome time. Thank you for playing the game of Would You Rather, and shout out to April for the questions. Yo, and hear about April, for real. You're from DC and you want to get your kids' hair done or did, you feel me? For real, hear about April, and hear about April on Instagram. Go check her out. But for real, you guys, man, this was a dope episode. Like I told my man Barkeem Barr, official announcement, you guys, the documentary will indeed be dropping this Sunday, you guys. So tune in to the 11:30 podcast YouTube channel, man, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode of it, man. It's gonna be cool. I was nervous, man, but hey, I was told not to be nervous, but it's in a good nervous though. Like my man Laquan Johnson, man, said, man, hey, be turning nervousness into a good nervousness. That's what I did, man. But hey, it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait for you guys to see it, man. Leave a comment, like it, share it, all that good stuff. This Sunday, you guys, on the 11:30 podcast YouTube channel. But for real, man, it's been an awesome time, man. Hope everybody is staying safe out there, man. It's been some crazy times, man, going on in the world, man. What is going on? You feel me? We light up in just a little bit, man, and everything seemed like, you know, we got a great path or it's the light at the end of the tunnel, and we got these mass shootings going on, man, in Virginia Beach, man, and Colorado at a grocery store, man, and you know, it's just so many other places. The spa in Atlanta, man. Come on, man. Like, we got to get it together, man. We got to do better for real, man. Like I was saying early in the podcast, man, just, you know, the crazy stuff that happened this past, you know, weekend here in DC with the Uber Eats situation, man. It's crazy, man. For real. So we got to do better, man, as people, man, for real. But you guys, man, stay safe out there, man. Stay humble. Keep doing your thing, man. Stay prayed up. Yo, you guys, man, before I go, you guys, don't forget to follow the 11:30 podcast on all social media platforms. Follow me on Twitter at Dre on Wheels. Follow me on Instagram at the 11:30 podcast. Like the 11:30 podcast on Facebook. Subscribe. Yes, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button down below. Yes, man, for real. Like it. Hold up. You gonna hit that subscribe button? I'll wait. You feel me? I will wait. Yeah, I will wait. I will wait. But for real, man, hit that subscribe button, man. Like it. Share it. You guys, man, share it. Leave a comment, you guys. Leave a comment so I know you're there, man, so I can hear what you guys like, what you guys don't like, or whatever, man. So definitely, man. So I appreciate it so much. And also, you guys, the 11:30 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. Each and every Friday, where I interview some of your favorite independent referees, ring announcers, you name it, you guys. Wrestlers, you name it. All wrestling, you guys. Each and every Friday, you guys. So join me this Friday, man, for real. It's going to be fun, you guys. We're on the road to WrestleMania. So everybody down in Florida, I know you're going. If not, but hey, you're on the road to WrestleMania. If you would like to be a guest here on the podcast, email the1130podcast@gmail.com. The1130podcast@gmail.com. Man, it's been an awesome show. Or DM me on Facebook or whatever, or Instagram, social media. You know how we get down. It's been an awesome episode, you guys, man. Tune in this Sunday for the 11:30 for my documentary series, you guys. And yo, man, tune in this Friday for a new episode of Talk Pro Wrestling. But man, it's been an awesome show. I see you guys next week, man. And yo, it's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. And I'm out.
I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. 11:30 podcast, Dre on Wheels, he is the one. Let's get it, yeah. Who with me? Let's get it, yeah. Who with me? Yeah. I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. Let's get it. 11:30 podcast, Dre on Wheels, he is the one.
He the one, nigga.
So let's Breeze, baby.
He the one.
Who with me?
So Breeze, baby.
Let's get it. Who with me? Yeah, they gon' hate, but they ain't stopping this. I'ma keep making hits. Dre and Wheels, you know it ain't no copying.